Buenas tardes, muchas gracias a todos por acompañarnos el día de hoy. Quiero agradecer la presencia de Leonardo Dos Santos, reclutador internacional de Northern Alberta Institute of Technology, institución socia de nuestra Cámara, quien nos hablará sobre Forjando tu Futuro, Estudia en NAIT, el Politécnico Líder en Edmonton, Alberta. Asimismo, agradecemos a nuestros socios Premium de Educación, Universidad de Lima, University Canada West y Humber College. Quiero recordarles que podrán realizar consultas por el botón de preguntas y respuestas, las mismas que serán leídas al finalizar la exposición. Estas pueden ser realizadas en inglés hacia el expositor. Quiero también mencionar que les enviaremos el link de la grabación de esta presentación luego del evento junto con información relevante. Ahora sí, antes de empezar, quisiera contarles un poco sobre nuestro expositor. Leonardo Dos Santos, ex experimentado reclutador internacional en NAIT, apasionado por conectar a los estudiantes con oportunidades educativas de clase mundial, con una sólida experiencia en educación internacional y compromiso estudiantil. Leonardo se dedica a guiar a los estudiantes a través de su viaje académico y asegurar su éxito en el mercado global. Thank you, Leonardo, to this presentation with us with the Canada-Peru Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you, Claudia. It is my pleasure.
Perfect.
Should I start my presentation?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for attending to this session. Thank you, the Chamber of Commerce, for allowing us to present and come to chat with you guys today. We will quickly talk a little bit about Alberta, Nate, and living in Edmonton as well. I will bring some information to make sure you all well equipped when making those decisions about your career in Canada. I will start sharing my screen. Please let me know once you can see it.
Now we can see your screen and all the information and the value information from Nate.
Awesome. Perfect. So today we will be talking about a little bit about Canada and Alberta. I will also talk about the benefits about living in Edmonton, the opportunities that we have in the city. Of course, we will also discuss Nate, everything that is good about. I will give you a little bit of insights on how to apply to a program with us and provide you some information on how to prepare to start your journey here in Canada. But before we actually dive into the information, I wanted to bring this map just to illustrate how far we are from Peru. And you can see it's 14 hours from Lima to Edmonton. Most common connections are from Peru to Edmonton, go through Toronto, Houston, Mexico City, and Panama City, just so you have an idea where we are located. Next thing that I want to talk about, it is, of course, Canada. Now, it's my understanding that the big majority, at least, of you guys here today have done some research about Canada and have some interest about coming to Canada. But I also want to provide a little bit of updates. I know there's been lots of change in the immigration policies, therefore lots of rumors. So I also want to make sure we are up to date when it comes to immigration in Canada. Well, as probably most part of you know, Canada has a steady population growth. It is actually part of, it is a key, immigration is a key contributor to Canadian economy. We are ranked in the 4th position of the OECD Better Life Index. It rates indicators such as income, education, health, and others. We have a strong pathway for international students to actually secure long-term career opportunities here in Canada. You probably heard that Canada welcomes immigrants for a long time now, and we continue to do so. There is some rationale behind it, but we'll see those in details moving forward. Now, when it comes to Alberta, Edmonton, I'm sure some of you guys have not heard about Edmonton before, or even the province of Alberta. So I brought this map simply to illustrate where we are in the map, right? You can see that we are on the same, on the west coast of Canada, close to Vancouver. Is actually 12 hours driving and about an hour and a half hours flying from Edmonton to Vancouver. And we are on the opposite coast of Toronto and Montreal, for instance. One of the greatest benefits of living in Alberta, it is because we are the third largest proven oil reserve in the world, after only after Venezuela and Saudi Arabia, which means we have incentives when it comes to, oh, my apologies, we have incentives when it comes to tax. Here in Alberta, the provincial government will exempt the provincial tax, which means we have not only the richest province in Canada, but also a really good cost of living in comparison to other provinces. And I will exemplify those as well moving forward. But another thing that I would like to point out, it is that we have the highest household income in Canada. So Alberta has, in average, $96,000 per year income per household, while in BC, for instance, British Columbia, in average, you have $71,000 per year. In Ontario, for instance, it is the total in average $75,000 per household per year. So we do have an advance when it comes to the income in comparison to other provinces in Canada. And talking about taxes by province, I brought this one to illustrate the difference that it might make in a year on your budget, right? So for a two income source, so a household with two income source and two children, in a year, in Alberta, you will be paying something close to $4,300 per year in taxes, while in, for instance, Nova Scotia, Nova Scotia, you would be paying something close to $11,500 in tax per year. Just so you have an idea about the cost living here in Alberta. Now, another thing that I would like to point out, and this is one of the major facts that differentiate us when it comes to career, because when you're planning to study here in Canada, many of you are also considering maybe immigrating to Canada, but regardless, I'm sure you are concerned about the employment rates that the province has to offer. And I brought this slide here today. I'm not going to get into the details of each one of those numbers, but I would like us to focus on the cumulative imbalance, which represents the difference between the total number of job openings and the total number of people looking for jobs in a given year, which is this last row here. The negative value that we see for the years of 2024, 25, 26, and 27 indicates a surplus on job openings. So in other words, there are more job opportunities than qualified people to fill them. So those are positions that will not be able to be filled because we lack labor that is able to fulfill those positions. And then Moving forward, starting on the 2028, we start seeing a positive value, which indicates a shortage of job openings relative to the number of people actually looking for work. So, the trend here, it is just to illustrate that we currently do still have, and Alberta is calling, that's the slogan that the government used inside Canada to prospect talent to our province, because we actually need um, people that come and work to the province. All of that to illustrate that the circumstances when it comes to studying and living in Alberta are quite positive when considering your career and employment as well. Now, where exactly, which industry, which fields can we find those job positions, right? Most part of them will be concentrating three main industries: trades, transport, and equipment operators. Those are skilled trade programs, and we are NAIT, we do offer many skilled trade programs, sales and service as well. And the third one, business and finance and administration. And I have to say that we have at NAIT one of the largest business schools in Western Canada. So just showing you where are some of the industries that will be demanding most part of those professionals. Now, talking specifically about the province and not necessarily the numbers about employment and labor market forecast here. Alberta has the youngest population among Canadian province. We have an average age of 38 compared to 41 national-wise, which brings us a young workforce that contributes to our economic growth and innovation. Over 60, over 56 of Albertans have completed post-secondary education, promoting growth in key sectors, especially technology and innovation. The province is quickly becoming a tech hub, supported by strong educational institutions and growing startups ecosystem. The government of the province offer tax incentives for new business endeavors. So for all the entrepreneurs in the room, this might be a good opportunity for you to look into. We also offer a high quality of life here. It's really sunny throughout the year. That makes the difference during winter time, and I can elaborate later on. And here in Alberta, you can easily access 5 of the third Canada's UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Have you heard of Rocky Mountains, for instance, where you can find Banff, Lake Louise? So yeah, it's about 3 hours and a half from here, from Edmonton. So, to sum up, Alberta is a young, educated, and growing province that combines professional opportunity with exceptional lifestyle, and then merging into the city of Edmonton, where we are located. First of all, we are the capital of Alberta. We have a strong value for entrepreneurship. There's a lot to support you to start your own business, as I mentioned before. We are the home of the National Institute of Nanotechnology. It's located here in Edmonton as well, and we are also the second in North America for artificial intelligence research. Global leader in machine learning as well. So the tech industry here, it is quite outstanding. That's one of the reasons why we are really oriented for developing technology and innovation. When it comes to the population density, we have 151 per square kilometers. While, for instance, so you have an idea, in Toronto, we are talking about 4,450 people per square kilometer. So we still have room, which also contributes for the prices and the cost of living here being lower. So if the province, the Alberta's age average was 38, Edmonton is even lower. We are 36 in average years old. So it's younger than the province itself. And we were we were awarded because of our education across diverse communities, fostering social inclusion and supporting cultural development through continuous learning efforts, which gave us the Edmonton Awards from the first UNESCO Learning Cities. So we were awarded because of our cross-cultural social inclusion education. I believe I already mentioned this, but now we also have the data. We were ranked the fifth among the most affordable cities to live in Canada in 2024. And our living cost, it is 30% less than Toronto. So that really makes the difference, when you're keeping in mind the tax exemptions that we have, as well as the income that we also rate overall the country as one of the highest income in Canada. This will all contribute to have a very affordable city to live. In Edmonton has a median family income of $112,000 per year. In Edmonton, yes. In comparison to Alberta, for instance, the province, it is $96,000 per year. And then we will also see that in comparison to other cities, we are also ranking the highest income, family income in Canada. We are a very diverse community, and we are the third highest immigration retention rate here in Canada. So that means we are the third city that is keeping talented immigrants. So if your plan it is to study here in Canada, but also after that investigate the possibility of becoming a permanent resident, it's something to take in consideration as well. Now, I'm sure lots of people heard about how cold Canada overall it is, and maybe about Edmonton as well. It is indeed, in comparison to our Latin American summers, it can be really cold, but it is not that bad, right? When it comes to the winter, you can see that in average, we have -7 to -15. And I believe in some points of Peru, people actually have the same sort of temperature. So it's something that, but at the same time, during the summertime, we also have average temperature of 23. Today, for instance, we actually have 27 degrees, and it's really sunny. So you get the both and good parts you get the good weather for both parts, winter and summer as well. We have the largest urban park in North America, the Saskatchewan River, which cuts the city in half, separates both sides of the city. It's 20 times longer than the Central Park in New York City, just so you have a scale there. And one of the things that I personally love the most, it is the nature and outdoors. We have over 160 kilometers of trails to explore, and they are really close to the city, to downtown. So I can easily walk 5 minutes and be in the middle of the outdoors in the forest, riding my bike. So it's pretty awesome in that for you that explore that likes exploring the nature and the outdoors. If you're not that, going on trails is not really your thing, it's okay. We have the largest mall in North America, the West Edmonton Mall, over 800 stores. They have so many activities in there. They also have a beach inside the shopping mall, a casino, hotel, skating rink, an aquarium. They also have a mini golf camp. So it's pretty much a small city inside a mall. Inside a mall. And if mall is not really your thing, you're more like activities in a group, in a community. I have to say that Edmonton is Canada's festival city, considered the Canada's festival city for the number of festivals that we have throughout the year. During the summer, to exemplify, we have the International Fringe Festival in August, which is art festival. The folk musical festival that happens is actually taking place right now. Last week we had Black Plumas. We also have the K Days, lots of firework, carnivals as well, Taste of Edmonton, lots of cuisine in one place, concerts and cultural activities. So one of my favorites because you can actually taste the cuisine from literally everywhere in the world, and go on and on. During the winter as well, we have Ice on White Festival. It's Ice District, really center here. And I could go on and on, but we don't have the time for me to be talking about all the festivals that we have in the city. I must say though, even if festival is not your thing, there's so many campsites that you can explore within a short drive from the city. About 30-40 minutes, you will find a lake and you can spend the day there. You can go camping. Anyway, many attractions. But let's go back to Nate, and then bring you guys a little bit of the numbers, what's so good about us. And I will start focusing on employment, because we do understand that this is a continued journey for our students. So we want to make sure not only that our programs are aligned and forecasting what is expected for the next 10 years, when it comes to what is that the market is actually demanding and will be demanding by the time that you graduate from one of our programs. So employment satisfaction, it is 98%. So from all the employers who have hired a graduate from NAIT, 98% of those are satisfied. 93% of all the graduates from NAIT find employment within 9 months of graduating. And I have to say the breakdown something close to 40% of those students will find employment within 3 months after graduating. And then after 9 months, it goes up to 93. So it really showcased how committed we are when creating those programs, when conducting those programs and making sure that those are relevant skills that we are teaching to our students. 93% of graduates are satisfied with their overall educational experience at NAIT, and 96% of graduates would recommend us as a post-secondary institution in Canada. This is just to illustrate where those graduates are finding employment. 97% of those are within Alberta, within the province, which it talks a little bit to what I was talking before, the context that we see in the province, really calling for professionals. And what's so great about us, we offer practical experience with equipment and technologies used in today's industry. So students can gain real life work skills. In a polytechnic such as NAIT, we make sure that 50% of the content it is in class, but the other 50% of everything that you will study at NAIT, it is practical skills in one of our labs, sometimes working with real patients, stock training, bank simulations, and goes on and on. We are tech-based education, so state-of-art facilities and simulation work center. I have to say I am fairly new to NAIT. I've been working here for 1 year now, and one of the things that I will never forget, it is how impressed I was when I was given a tour through one of our health labs. So it's really impressive how modern the structure that we have to offer. Apart from there, we also have many industry partnerships. We produce skilled workforce that is directly aligned with the industry needs. They actually, some representative from those industries will have a opportunity to provide their insights when we are elaborating, creating our programs, so they can offer a input. We support educational and research needs in Alberta and worldwide. We also have a focus to applied research. So our instructions, they have multiple years of industry experience. Most part of the time, they continue to pursue their careers, and they also teach, which really makes a really good synergy in between the industries here in Alberta and NAIT and NAIT's students. We offer many work placement opportunities for part of our curriculum, but we also guide our students to train how to go to an interview. We promote fairs on campus, so we bring those employers to talk to students while they're still taking classes at NAIT. So we want to make sure that everything that we have to offer is really aligned to the market needs and to the local industry here. Well, I was just talking about work opportunities as part of the curriculum. We have 77 programs that offer work integrated learning. This is also known as co-op programs. 25 of those are mandatory and 46 are optional, so you can actually opt if you want to have that placement or not. Out of 77, 44 are paid, so you get paid during your work, and 22 are unpaid. So you start working as a intern, and that counts to the conclusion of your program, and of course allows you to start creating the network and experience. Just so you have an idea how big we are currently more than 40,000 students, to each 4,000 of those are international students coming from over 100 countries. Third largest post-secondary institution in Alberta, and we were ranked the third in Canada's top 50 research colleges in research income from partner organizations. And we have 4 campuses here in Alberta. Those are to illustrate some of the industry partners that have hired our graduates in the past. I'm pretty sure you are familiar with Shell, for instance. Scotiabank, for instance, is a bank, a Canadian bank. Yeah, so those are some of the partners that hire our graduates. I brought this just so you also have an idea about the percentage of employment, graduates who were employed um, in less than 1 year after graduating, as well as the median salary, right? For some of the programs that we have to offer. Not gonna go into detail for each one of those, but just so you have an idea how high the employment rate it is for NAIT's graduate. And that is in less than 1 year after graduating. Now, where we are located, we are really centered in the city. I live downtown, and it takes me 5 minutes driving to go to work, 10 minutes riding my bike, maybe another 10 minutes using the public transit system. We actually have a station that is called NAIT Station right in front of our campus, so you can easily go about the city and navigate the city while studying at NAIT as well. We currently do not have a international or a student residence, but it's on the works. It should be ready within 2 years from now. But we also offer many housing options around the campus, including homestay programs and student residence as well. And another great thing about NAIT, it is the support that we have to offer. And for this one, it talks really special. It resonates with me because I have to say I have a personal experience with NAIT, not as a student, but some of my family are alumni from NAIT, and the International and Intercultural Community Center support really resonates with myself as an immigrant in Canada. Why? Because apart from the Student Service Center, that it is sort of a front desk for all the students at NAIT, we also have the International and Intercultural Community Center, because we understand that as an international students, the challenge that you will face are quite different from a domestic student, right? You're apart from your family, you're apart from your friends, you're getting used to the new weather, the language. So we want to make sure that you are supported. So we have a team of immigration license advisors on the IICC, though they are there to help you when applying for a PGWP or extending your study permit, for instance. We have academic support. So if you're not really understanding how things work, how do you enroll to courses, they are there to help you. Counselors for international students, we have advisors on careers as well, many clubs. So those are the professionals that will be working closely with you guys to make sure that you're navigating all those changes in a really seamless way. And just to exemplify some of the support that we have for international students, we also have international peer mentors. So current students at NAIT can actually tell you guys, and you can reach out to them and ask questions about life at NAIT. Academic advisors, I believe I mentioned this before. Yes, the career advisors will also help you writing your resume and interview practicing. So just want to make sure that you know that we are here for you to support you throughout this journey. Some scholarships and bursaries that we offer as well, depending on the criteria here. I'm running a little bit late on my time, so you will notice I am moving faster now. But just want to make sure you also know that we do offer support, financial support and aids to students, some of them based on your particular circumstance and financial needs, some of them based on your academic excellence. When it comes to areas of study, again, we offer over 100 programs accepting international students here at NAIT. Those are some of the, well, those are the schools. We currently have 7 schools here at NAIT, so I'm sure we have something for you. And if you're wondering if your English might not be sufficient, I also wanted you to know that we offer English as a second language as well, ESL course, as well as academic upgrading if by any chance you might be lacking academic requirements. This exemplifies, again, just list the programs. So we have certificates, 1 year of duration. We have diplomas, which is 2-year long, but we also offer degrees. So when navigating our website and searching for programs, I'm sure we have something that aligns to your goals. And another modality of programs that I should mention here, it is the International Professional Development Certificates, which were designed for mature students who might already have a post-secondary education. They might have a degree, they might have some experience in the industry. So maybe those credit programs do not offer them something that would be that useful maybe to their career. So we also offer the post-diploma certificates in those areas. And those are really good for you to get acquainted with the Canadian standards for your particular industry. If you're not really sure which career you should pursue, or need a little bit of guidance to understand what career is better for you, we do have a Find Your Future quiz, so you can quickly answer questions, and it kind of guides you to the areas of study that you might be interested. So it's good to actually take a look at it if you're not really sure which way to go. When exploring our programs on our website, you will see always some very important information. One, what are the intakes, as well as if they're open for international students. Right above, you will see the academic requirements for it. And on the left, you will see a very extended information about what are the outcomes for this program. What is the employment rate for that particular? What is the median salary for that particular program? And tuitions, of course, scholarships, and all that. You will see both academics and English requirements on our website for each one of those programs. This is just to illustrate to you what it is when you see grade 12, grade 11. And I have to say, I was raised in Brazil. I was not used to the Canadian grade system, so I had to learn this as well. But to sum up, it goes the same as the first, second, and third year of high school. So whenever you see grade 10, that is referring to the first year of your high school in Peru, and then on and on. When you're navigating those programs, you will also see a English language proficiency requirement. And then you have many ways to fulfill that requirement. One of them, it is, for instance, to take one of those ELP exams, such as IELTS, TOEFL, Duolingo, and you can actually see on our webpage what is the minimum score required for each one for all of our credit programs, actually. We also offer some pathways with English schools. And again, we also have our ESL school where you can actually take online classes before coming to Canada. So if you're planning to apply for a credit program and you're not really sure about your English level, if it's going to be enough, just know that we do offer English classes as well. And as long as you're placed on level 5 or level 6, you can apply for a credit program and be conditionally accepted into that program. And again, you can take online classes. Let's just say you're placed on level 3. You can take online classes from Peru before actually coming to Canada. To exemplify the cost of living, right? I know we spoke about income, about the benefits of living in Alberta, but what is the actual cost? What is the actual cost for you to study and live here, right? So considering 8 months, which is the academic year, you should consider a total NAIT cost, and that includes books, tuition, all the fees, right? About $25,000 per 8 months. And also your total living cost about 13,000 Canadian dollars per 8 months, including clothes, food, accommodation, transport, and yeah, so general cost of living. We are almost done, but I have to say that when it comes to work as a student, the rule remains the same. So for degree, diploma, certificate programs, so we call them the credit programs, the student is allowed to work during the school term part-time and then full-time during the break, so winter break and summer break. So you will still be allowed to study and work. And then you also can see the estimation on the minimum wage and your monthly income as well. That also remains for PGWP, post-graduation work permit. So as long as your program is over 1 year, you are eligible for a PGWP. If your course it is a certificate of 1 year, for instance, then you are eligible for another 1 year after you finish that program of open work permit. Now, if you have a 2-year diploma program, you are eligible for another 3 years of PGWP by the end of your program. Really important for international students to be aware of the timeline here. We usually we open applications 1 year in advance. So if you're trying to apply, planning to apply, for instance, for September 2025, then applications were actually opened by the beginning of this month. So it's always 1 year in advance. And then I also want to provide you a step-by-step here. Extremely important for you to be checking the program requirements, as I mentioned, study permit processing times for sure. So you want to make sure that you're able to be here before class started. You will be required to pay an application fee of $150, and you will have the chance to choose 2 programs to be considered under the same application fee. Then you upload your translated records to the system after you submitted the application. It takes about 7 business days for our admissions team to process that and make a decision, just do an assessment to your records. Once you have that decision, you are required to pay a tuition fee. to secure your spot, your seat. And then 30 days before you actually start your classes, then you are required to pay the first term of your program. You do not necessarily need to pay for the entire year or the entire program. Once you have paid that tuition deposit, we will provide you both the visa letter of acceptance as well as the provincial attestation letter so you can request a study visa. In terms of required documents, we are, well, for diplomas, we are requesting the secondary records, secondary education records, so the high school records, the diploma and transcript. And then when it comes to post-secondary programs, such as post-diploma programs, such as the International Development Certificate that I mentioned before, then we are looking for your post-secondary education records, as well as the English language proficiency exam. Application timeline, just so we have in a clear view here. So you apply online, 7 days for our admission team to process that, and for you to receive your offer, you pay the tuition deposit of $5,000. We send you the documents required for your visa application. You submit your visa application, you receive that, you come to Canada, and then you start studying with us, and you start your successful journey here in Edmonton at NAIT. I believe I am over my time by quite a lot. So I will just hand it over to Claudia.
No, thank you very much, Leonardo, for all the information provided. This is a significant step for the people join us. So I will start by presenting the attendees questions to you. Okay, first, Maria Jesus mentioned she's very interested in applying to NAIT since the beginning of this year. I already applied for a diploma in interior design technology about 2 months ago. How long does the process usually take to give a response? If you receive a no, that you recommend me applying into different programs at the same time to secure a place?
That's a good question. Okay, so generally our return time for admissions to assess your documentations and make a decision, it is 7 business days after you have uploaded all your translated records, and given that the documents uploaded are the ones required. Depending on the intake and depending when in time and in the year you are applying for which intake. So for instance, if you're applying to September, which is the September intake, which is a month from now, it might take a little longer, it might take a little less, but generally 7 business days. When it comes to applying to several programs, yes, you're more than welcome to apply for as many programs as you feel comfortable with. But I wanted to highlight that by paying one application fee, you are actually allowed to choose for 2 options. So you can pick your first option as the one that you want to be considered first, and we will take a look at those. If by any chance you do not fulfill the requirements for your first option, then we will use the same records to consider you to your second program option. So let's just say you want to apply to 6 different programs at NAIT, which I believe it is a good idea if you have restrictions when it comes to the intake or anyway, but you would simply submit, for instance, pay 2 application fees, submit 3 actually, right? 6 programs, so 3 applications free, submitting 3 applications online, which would give you the total of 6 programs to be considered for.
Thank you, Leonardo. Maybe can you add what is your recommendations to what time in advance they need to apply in order to have this space?
Right, awesome, great question. It really depends on the program that we are talking about here. For instance, health programs are highly demanded programs. So
Okay.
that means that once the application is actually open, some students will be on the very first hour overnight submitting their application because we process based on the date of submission, right? And it's a highly demanded program. Now, for instance, business programs. Remember that I said that we have one of the largest business schools here in Western Canada, right? We do not have caps on seat. We do not have limitations on seats. So that means as long as you suffice the requirements for business, we welcome you. You're not competing against other students. So business require not that long before the intake itself. But generally, make sure you are aware of the processing time, visa processing time from your country. That will have an impact on your planning there. And apply as soon as you can because uh, seats are limited for most, the big majority of our programs. And NAIT, it is highly demanded within and outside of Canada.
Thank you, Leonardo. So we have one question in Spanish, but I'm already translated to you. This says from Walter, my daughter applied tonight, but she has received several observations regarding the equivalency between her school in Peru and the education system in Canada, which are evidently different. Additionally, my daughter has already completed her architecture degree in Peru and wishes to pursue a diploma at NAIT. Unfortunately, she was unable to secure a spot for this year and has just applied for January 2025. Perhaps someone internally could guide him, please. Oh, guide us, please.
Absolutely. And I offer my email there on the screen. And I'm sure that the chamber will also share with you guys all my contacts. Please feel free to reach out to me so I can take a look at that particular application. I mean, that could be many reasons for an application to be rejected or to a seat to not be offered, right? Many sides to that. But I can certainly take a look at the application that was submitted and maybe double check with admissions team. What
Just
is
to
that?
give him maybe reasons in order that he could apply. Well, her daughter could apply for the next term from night.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you do apply for the next term, you can also send us an email once you have your student ID, so we can make sure that what you are submitted, it is aligned to what it is required, as well.
Okay, thank you, Leonardo.
My pleasure.
Yes. We have another questions. Yes, from Kelia. If someone already starts to study any field for X, he finished the first year, can that someone come to NAIT continues where he was before arriving to Canada?
Certainly, yes. So we have what we call transfer credits, right? So in case you are one of those examples, right? You already have some post-secondary education in your country, in Peru, and then you're coming to study a program with us. If those subjects and those courses and those skills will overlap, you do have the possibility for applying for transfer credits. So once you apply to NAIT and you are accepted to one of our programs, then you can apply to transfer credits, which allows you to skip or do not have to take it again up to 50% of the total of your program course load. So if you're looking into a 2-year diploma, but you already have previous education and experience in that industry, then you can apply to make this 2-year program maybe in less, up to 1 year, and you still have a 2-year diploma by the end of 1 year. So definitely something that it's possible, yeah.
Thank you, Leonardo. The next questions. Am I available to apply for NAIT programs and follow them while still attending school like being in college?
I apologize. Could you please repeat?
Yes, I am available to apply for NAIT programs and follow them while still attending school like being in college?
Oh, yes. So if I am understanding this question correctly, they're asking if they're able to attend to NAIT while also attending to a different college in Canada. Is that the question?
They don't mention if both are from Canada. I'm not sure if Brian Nadrat, he mentioned that the college in Peru or is a college in Canada. So maybe make these acclarations to move forward to the question.
Yeah, well, to provide a direct answer to that, we would have to take a look at the particulars there. But there is no restriction for any student to take a program at NAIT if they're taking a different program somewhere else, as far as I am concerned. But
he already answered. He's actually in Canada currently.
yeah, and taking his college program over there.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I don't see any barriers for him to actually start his course here, his program here at NAIT, and continue to take maybe online classes from his college in Ghana. And by the way, Ghana is one of our ELP exempt countries. So if you're applying from Ghana, and for all of you, there is a link on our website under ELP, English Language Proficiency, that lists the countries that are exempt. Your country, well, Peru is not one of them. But if you acquire education any other place, you might want to take a look at that. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that Ghana, if you had previous education in Ghana, and if you did your high school in Ghana, you are exempt from providing IELTS, TOEFL, Duolingo, and all those. The academic should.
Thank you, Leonardo. So just to mention, all the attendees will receive an email from the Canada-Peru Chamber with the information of this presentation and also with the email from Leonardo. And the last question, Leonardo, before our announcement, can you tell us a little bit for the certificate courses?
Certificate courses at NAIT. Yeah. Absolutely. So not only the certificates, right? So NAIT is a polytechnic. We offer over 150 programs total, of which 100 of those are eligible for international students, right? Certificates are 1-year program, and we have certificates in different areas. Certificates at NAIT will last 1 year. They are eligible for another 1 year of post-graduation work permit because we make sure that they qualify for PGWP. One thing I have to mention is that the IPDC, the International Professional Development Certificates that I mentioned, they are for mature students who have experience or previous education in that particular industry. They are eligible for express entry immigration stream. However, that one particular are not eligible for the provincial nominee program. So IPDC, those particular certificates. But other than that, when you navigate in our programs, when you find the certificate, the programs can have up to 3 intakes per year, but the big majority, one of the highest intakes, it is fall. And yeah, so 1 year certificate will make you eligible for both express entry and PNP, except IPDCs, PNP, no. But also will allow you to work part-time during your classes, full-time during your winter break and summer break. It will also make you eligible for 1 year of post-graduation work permit. So, yeah.
Perfect, Leonardo. Thank you very much. So could you please join me to share a few announcements from our institute before we conclude this webinar?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yes, let me share my screen just to, yes,
Yes.
the announcement.
Let me see. Okay. I'm still sharing my screen. I apologize. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Leonardo. Let me just share my screen. Thank you. I will make this announcement shortly in Spanish. Okay. Nuestros próximos eventos, continuamos con los webinars educativos. El día martes 27 de agosto a las 7 de la noche tendremos la conferencia de nuestros socios educativos Saskatchewan Polytechnic. Asimismo, el día martes 10 de septiembre a las 7 de la noche tendremos la conferencia de nuestro socio de educación University Canada West. Descubre la nueva beca de las Américas y estudia tu licenciatura o maestría en Vancouver. Y por último, los invitamos a visitar nuestra nueva sección en comercio exterior en nuestra web, donde encontrará información detallada sobre cómo hacer negocios con Canadá. Asimismo, pueden agendar servicios de asesorías personalizadas, donde nuestro equipo de expertos los guiará en cada paso en el proceso de exportación o importación. Pueden escribirnos a des.negocios@canadaperú.org. Thank you very much to join us today with our education member, the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology. Let me just stop sharing my screen. And Leonardo, if there's any additional information you would like to add before we end today's webinar?
No, I was just going over the questions there, and I noticed that someone pointed out really good call that my email was not actually on the slide, which it is correct. So I just sent my email in the chat as well, international@nate.ca. So feel free, if we didn't have the time to actually ask me questions, or if I didn't cover something that you were expecting us to cover, or if by any chance you have questions about everything that I said, please feel free to reach out to us by email, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Hope to see all of you guys here in Edmonton, studying at NAIT. It was a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Leonardo, for all the information provided. Actually, this is a significant step for the people to join us, and it's a start the information that you will share by Edmonton and the institution and NAIT. Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
You too.